Today I wanted to take a look at some of the top consoles that are used in churches today. I wanted to do something a little bit different for this one. So I'm gonna take you around to some churches that are using these consoles so we can talk to their media teams and figure out why they're using these and what's most beneficial for them. As always, these are just a few of the options that we have over at sweetwater.com. If you have any questions on anything that you see today or want some options that are comparable to these, reach out to your Sweetwater sales engineer. Before we get started today, I want to give an honorable mention to the Behringer X32. This thing has been a staple in church for years and years and years and years and years. If you've been in any church ever in your whole life, you've probably seen one of these. All right, let's head out. Right now I'm on my way to a church called New Covenant Worship Center. I'm actually really looking forward to this. I've been able to be around them for a couple of the different things. Incredible team, the services are amazing. The facility is beautiful. All right, let's do this. We're here at New Covenant Worship Center in Fort Wayne, and I love the way this building is set up. Right now they're rocking with a Behringer WING, so let's go see what's going on.
In the beginning, I'll go back to the very first one, which, believe it or not, was a Mackie. And then after that, we wanted something that we could save settings, etc. So we moved up to the Soundcraft. And then after a while, it was time to look to something a little bit more up to date, I'll say. And the Wing came up. As I began to use it and look at how friendly things seem to be, and then all the resources that are out there to learn how to use it, from video to after video, it just became much friendlier than I thought it would be. We are very happy. It's been not a task or not a chore to train people on it, to get them used to the flow. And once they have the flow, in my opinion, now it's easier for them to kind of forget that I can hit this button and get there, you know, but I can actually pay attention to the room, and then even get a chance to engage in the worship, which is, I think, the most important part of it.
A common thread that we're going to see in these churches is that as the need grew and as the congregation expanded, the console was upgraded accordingly. The decision to upgrade in these places was not, I want to be cool and I want to get this just because. It was, this is what we need, so here's where we're going to go. There's the church and the steeple. Open it up. Here's all the people. All right, okay. All right, we're here at a church called The Chapel in Fort Wayne, Indiana. This place is big, man. There's about a 1,000-seat auditorium. On any given Sunday, they're gonna see about 2,000 people between their two services. The whole facility is absolutely gorgeous. The stage layout, the LED walls, the lighting, everything that they've done is super intentional. Everything is also recently updated. They got a killer L-Acoustics line array, and they're running everything from an Allen & Heath dLive S7000. I'm very excited to show you this one.
I think it's simple, yeah. I mean, you can get in as deep as you want to get in with it, and it does an amazing job at what it does. I mean, we have a lot of volunteers that come in and they can pick right up. You typically have 5 vocalists, your standard band, 2 guitars, bass, drums. It's different every single week. And that's another thing that this thing does really well, is you set your show file up.
For Easter or Christmas, usually we're trying to fill out as much of the orchestra as we can. We usually beef up the choir with extra volunteers. We shoot for like 70, 75, 80 people. Just the choir alone is about that much. And then full band, 20 or 30 in the orchestra, and a 5 or 6 person vocal team. So probably looking at 140-ish on stage at once.
That's about right.
Hearing how many moving pieces that they have on a bigger weekend had me curious to see what they do for their live stream. So I asked him, is the front of house mix the online mix, or do you have a board in the back?
The mix in the house is that mix, but it's going into some groups that are processed differently. I like the consistency of here.
In an ideal world, we'd have like an Avantis or something down there.
No matter the size of the team or the church, I think it's important to always have your eye on what the next need could possibly be. And whether that's upgrading the console in a few months or a few years, or adding a dedicated console to live stream to individualize that mix a little bit more. Now, the next spot that we're going to look at is my home church, City Church. Now, service was going on as I was filming this, so I took over one of the pastor's offices, I set up a plant, and Andrew and I had a conversation about what we were experiencing at our church.
Well, we upgraded from the Behringer WING, which served us well for a while while we were a young, growing church. As the vision of the worship team expanded, we needed a console that could do as many stereo intermixes as we needed, as well as bus processing on the console. For the channel count that we needed, that put us in a certain tier of console. The DM7, I grew up on Yamaha, I love Yamaha. It has a reputation of being just a solid workhorse. It has a massive channel count. We have 120 channels. We have, I think, 60-ish buses. So I can do all the in-ears that we have, and I can do bus processing that I need to. I have extra effects. I have a backup broadcast mix coming off in front of house. So if our broadcast wing goes down, we have a backup we can just flip over real quick. The ability to customize your workflow, we're able to get down to a pretty simple, only a couple button presses to navigate the whole board. A little bit of adjustment, but it's not a huge jump. And the upside of it is so much higher is worth it. The general consensus I've heard from our audio team, as well as some other people listening in, is there just sounds like there's so much more space in the mix. That was the obvious thing to me was we have all 8 of our vocalists going, and the guitars present and in the mix solidly without overtaking anything. Everything just sits in there so much easier than we had before.
So far, we've been to New Covenant, City Church, and the chapel in Fort Wayne. But I was talking to my friends out in Michigan about their church. Some of the equipment they have is just way too good to not go get. But also, they're not in Fort Wayne. So I was able to get my friend Case, say hi. Hi. See, there he is. Super happy to be here. To come with me and catch a lot of stuff, but also I don't want to travel alone. Makes me sad. When I found out that they were agreeing to let us come out there and shoot some stuff, I was like, I need this to be a surprise for everybody involved. But we did look at their live stream a little bit, and it has unbelievably clean audio. So I'm stoked. They can fit about 1,500 people in their building. They have a DiGiCo for front of house, and they have another DiGiCo for in-ears. I also know they have a Meyer line array, and they're running 8 DPA de facto mic capsules. 8 is insane. If you saw my mic capsule video, you know that I personally love a DPA de facto, and you also know that the sound quality that you get from it is pretty clean. We're gonna pull up to the church. They're gonna take us around the building. We'll show you everything that we can. All of the areas, all the tech stuff, all the media people. Just the media people. We're just gonna get the folks that do the media. We'll take you around the campus. We'll take a look at everything that they've got in front of house and the back of house. Then we'll hear from some of their creative staff and some of what their process is and why they decided to choose the DiGiCo.
What I know about Engedi is that they've had some really amazing changes in the last few years. But I wanted to know from the worship pastor, Jarian, what it was that they experienced, how they got started, and where they are today.
Yeah, so Engedi was church planted out of a church actually 10 minutes on the road called Central Wesleyan. And that was 20 years ago. We celebrate 20 years this fall. And I think 10 years ago, or actually 12 years now, this used to be a Kmart building. 110,000 square feet, vacant for a couple years. And they had this crazy idea of asking the owners if we could get it for free. 2 weeks later, we got the keys for free.
This space right here used to be in the round. We used to have a stage right in the center. The PA was a mono sound system. It sounded super crusty. And 4 years ago, we made the decision to change the entire room. We upgraded the PA to a Myers Lena, which kicks in here. And then we got this DiGiCo Quantum 338, which I absolutely love. We're running probably about 80 to 90 channels a weekend. We do everything in stereo that we can. So we got like 2 to 3 electrics, 2 keys players. We actually even have 2 drummers. We also have 8 singers on stage most weekends. This console has been so flexible for us. So we run, our broadcast off of this through Pro Tools in the back, so it's getting all of its channels from here. One thing that's kind of interesting about our culture is we do a lot of flow culture, a lot of spontaneity. And so having a high channel count has been really important to us because all of our band is on talkback mics, so communication pieces, and this just keeps up.
And you said you're DiGiCo pretty much across the board?
Yeah, at every campus. So we have a Español campus, they have a Quantum 225, and we just launched a new building for our Grand Rapids campus. They also have a 225 with a Waves rig at every campus as well. It was important for us to be able to have like an audio engineer volunteer be able to run anywhere we go. So at any campus they can just pop in and go, okay, I know what I'm looking at here. We actually started with the same show file on every console. So all the labeling's the same, the layout's the same. So even if you've never touched that console, if you're used to this one, you could walk in there and just feel at home, know what you're doing.
One thing that stood out to me about each of these churches was the level of intentionality in selecting their consoles. It wasn't something that they decided based on what the hype was around it. It wasn't about a brand name. It wasn't about anything other than this is what's going to work for our church, this is going to work for our congregation, and this is what's going to work for our media teams. This goes to show that the most important thing is staying within what your church needs and what's going to be the most beneficial for your teams. Now again, if you have questions on any one of these consoles, or you want to know more about something that maybe I didn't mention in this video, I highly encourage you, reach out to your Sweetwater sales engineer. They'll help you make a very well-rounded decision on what console is going to be best for your church for now, and maybe even the next one.